I'm going to be doing another assembly video for dubiaroaches.com. They've been really great. They've been nice enough to send me another enclosure for me to do an assembly video on. So this one is going to be a 24x18x12. It's quite a bit smaller than my other ones. It's a 22-gallon enclosure. First thing, it's a lot easier if you assemble it on some sort of hard floor. I did my first one on carpet and you end up having to use the hammer a lot more because the carpet absorbs a lot of it. So just do it on some sort of hard floor, it's a lot easier. As far as tools go, it comes with this little mallet here. You're going to need this. And then you need either a power drill or you can use a screwdriver. It is easier with a power drill, but it's doable with a screwdriver with a Phillips head on it. And either a razor or some sort of knife to cut the adhesive tape for the front substrate barrier. If you want the instructions to go along with this video, they have some instructions that are available on their website. You can go to the enclosure page and scroll down and they have a spot where you can click for instructions. This video will probably also be located there. So first thing, we have to assemble the bottom of the enclosure. So there are 4 of these little pieces. So there's a hole here in the bottom. This whole face is down. So with that hole, it's got to be like this. That's so if you want to stack the enclosures, you've got something for the little spacers to hook into. So we're going to assemble it with it facing down. I'll show you again once it's a little bit more together. So here is the front. It says Reptile Habitats on it. Going to take that. Got it like that. That hole facing down. Tap that in there. We're going to get one of these pieces right here. There's this piece, and then there's this shorter size, and then there's a size that's even shorter than the other two. You want the medium sized piece next. These two are for the height of the enclosure. So you want the 2 longest and the 2 medium size for the bottom of the enclosure. Just add this to the side, not the top. Remember, you've got that hole facing down for the side of the bottom of the enclosure. Smack it on there. Get another one of these T-things on here. Hole facing down, just like the other one. Then you're going to want the other long piece here. This is the back. Take that, facing the same way as the other long one. Now before we put the other ones on, we want to grab the bottom. So the bottom is this 24 by 18 piece of black PVC here. These all have got dog hair on it, but these all have, that's from my dog. These all have a like sort of blue, clearish colored protective film on it. Just go ahead and peel all those off before you put it together. It makes it a lot easier. The plexiglass has it as well. So I've already taken those off for this video. Slide that in these grooves all the way down. And then you can do this different ways, but I find it easiest if you take that medium-sized piece and get 2 of these. Remember, holes facing down, so just the same direction here. And go ahead and put this piece together, and then we're going to put it on there. I think it's easier that way. So make sure both sides go in when you smack it together. They should, if you're on a hard surface. Holes facing the same way as the other holes. Just like that. Kind of go back and forth from one to the other. And there's your bottom. Your bottom is done. So we'll move on to the next step, which is the back of the enclosure. So that's where you've got these medium pieces here, and there are ones that say, it's clearly marked, says this is the front. So these are the front, so don't use these for this. They're the same size, but these ones have the grooves for your sliding windows. This one just has the one groove for your back piece. So we're gonna want the ones that don't have any labeling on them, those are gonna be our back pieces. And remember, when you put these on, front says reptile habitat, so back doesn't say anything. So put them on the side that doesn't say anything, since this is the back. Just slide them on there. Tap them on. Tap it on. And then we are going to get the back of our enclosure. It's a 24 by 12 piece of PVC here. I've already taken the protective stuff off. Just slide that right in there. Just drops in. And we will go ahead and do the front. So these are the pieces that say this is the front, or this is the front. When you look at it, when you look at the front of your enclosure here, you'll see two grooves. Make sure you line up the two grooves on the piece that says this is the front with the other grooves so that your glass can slide and close properly. Got that down in there. Got that one on there. Now we'll get the sides of our enclosure, which is these two pieces with the holes in them. You could really put these are for, they're gonna have a little plastic thing in here that slides open and close for wires coming in and out. You can put it wherever you want, but I put it at the top back of the enclosure. So you can see here, this is the side, this is the back right here. Top, back, it's like that. Just slide it in. And same way on the other side, top, back, slide it in. Then we have to assemble the top of the enclosure. So this piece is already put together. This is your screens. That's a very heavy duty screen, but they include a couple support bars, so it'll easily support your lights. You can hang your lights. So on your enclosure here, there is some holes in the top. You'll see there's 8 holes, 2 next to each other in 4 spots. So you're gonna set these little metal poles in the middle of them, and then you've got a bag of some parts here. Open up that bag, and you should see 4 of these little metal black brackets, and you have like 8 little black screws. So these little brackets here hold on those support bars. The support bars are optional, but I would recommend putting them on. It includes them, and it definitely makes it a lot stronger. This is where it's easier to do it with a power drill, but you do not have to have a power drill. You're just gonna have to apply some force. You gotta push down when you put these in because it goes through a little bit of screen. Put those in. 2 back here. And then do the other bar on the other side. Set the metal pieces on there. Looks like they included an extra screw, which is nice because they're very small. You can easily misplace one. Do the last 2. Then I believe it's time to put the top of the enclosure on. Yep. So we got the front here, and make sure you look at this top just like all the other pieces. These 3 sides just have 1 groove. This side has 2 grooves. So this side here with 2 grooves goes on the front like all the other ones with the 2 grooves for your sliding glass. Line up all 4 corners before we start smacking this with the mallet. Make sure it drops down in them a little bit. And then just go around, tap it in. And then we are going to do the front doors here. Actually, we'll go ahead and do it. It'd be easier if we do it this way. So we've got this little strip of plexiglass. This is your substrate barrier. If you were going to use something like tile, you don't even have to have this in there if you don't want it in there, but I'm going to make a bioactive leopard gecko enclosure out of this. So I'm going to need to have some substrate. So I'm going to show you how you put this in. It's pretty simple. Get this piece right here of red. It's got some red just protective cover on it, but this is pretty strong adhesive. So this sticks to the inside of the enclosure. I'll show you. Let me get this on here. You're going to want to put it on the inside, or well, either side. It doesn't matter which side's the inside, but just one side. Go down and then cut it over, cut it up, and cut it. Don't put it across the top side. Just down, over along the bottom, and then up. Put it on there. Cut it. And then we'll go ahead and go over. Make sure you line it up so you don't see it. So get it as close to the bottom edge as you can without sticking over the edge. And just press down on it, make sure it's on there good. Go ahead and cut it again. And do the last side here. And then just make sure they're all stuck down again and get that red protective coating off so we can stick this on. Not that easy if you don't have fingernails, but you get it. There we go. So we got them all off. So we got, like I said, just down the side, the bottom, and the other side. And then with the adhesive facing towards you, go to the front of your enclosure, stick it in. Be careful not to stick it to anything until you're ready. Get it lined up in the bottom, so push down, but you're not up against the front yet. And when it's lined up left and right, which you'll know, it kind of sits in a little spot. Pull it forward, and then just put your finger in there and give it some pressure all the way along the bottom and along the sides. And now got our substrate bar in there, or our substrate barrier. We'll go ahead and do these. These are simple. These are those cable things I talked about earlier. They're like this. So you just unscrew that, and then put the big side in from the outside of the enclosure, then reach in the enclosure and screw the other side on back on there with just with your hand. There's one. Do the same thing on the other side here. All right, and we got one final step. We're just missing the glass here. So you got two of these. Sorry, there's a little dog hair on here. It's just from my dog. There's two holes. There's two of these that look just like this. Two holes in it. Get these. There's two handles here. They got a screw in the back of them. Take your handle, hit the screw out of the handle. And then put the handle on, drop the screw through, put the handle on one side. If you're going to use a drill, thread it first with your hand, just so you know it's not cross-threaded. Well, you don't mess up the threads, and once it starts going in a little bit, you know you got it. Don't tighten it too much, because it's just plexiglass, you don't want to break it. Got one done. Get the other one, looks just the same. Get your other handle. Same thing, unscrew the two screws. Drop a screw through the hole. Thread it in a little bit. Get the other side started. Alright, last step, we're done. So take your glass here, your two pieces of plexiglass, front of your enclosure, put the handle over to the side. So you got the two tracks. So we're going to go for the furthest back track first. Take this, line it up in the top track, push up, and then drop it down the track, slide it over. Take your other one, push up, drop it down the track, slide it over, and you're done. It's that simple. They're really easy to put together. I've been so happy with these enclosures. I've got several of them. They've sent me some. I bought some with my own money after they sent me some because I just really like them so much. They've been awesome. So I'm going to be making a bioactive leopard gecko enclosure out of this one. If you guys want to see that enclosure once I set it up, just comment down below and I'll be happy to make a video. But thanks again for doobieroaches.com for sending this to me. I really do appreciate it. I hope the video helped y'all out, and if you don't mind, just like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot.